In Shoshanguve to visit community members affected by crime in the area. He's set to address the community. Let's take you live to that address.
The colleagues that I'm with. So we're very happy. We think they're doing their best. And the cluster would be meeting soon to really discuss and review the manner in which we've been fighting crime and introduce new kind of ways that will indeed impact on crime.
But just my last question before the colleagues conclude theirs. A few days ago, you did say that what has been called xenophobic attacks is in fact people who are perpetrating crime in that name. A few days ago, from Sunday, there were attacks in Jeppies, in Johannesburg, in various streets, and particularly the foreign nationals are being attacked, which is why a whole lot of people are using the narrative that it's in fact xenophobic attacks. Does it concern you that even though you've already said that yes, there are sporadic incidents, but largely it's crime, does it concern you that it continues and they are attacking mainly foreign nationals?
Yes, it is a concern. I would imagine that crime, as you would appreciate, depends on the circumstances. There was a time in Johannesburg, the attack was between the hostel dwellers and those who were staying in the township, not in the hostels. You couldn't say there was xenophobia. You couldn't say we are xenophobic with the hostel dwellers. From time to time, the circumstances are not exactly the same. The point we're making is that this narrative that South Africans are xenophobic, we don't necessarily agree with it. We have been staying here with the foreigners centuries ago. Some have come here and settled here. There are no attacks that are always made. The point I was making the other day was that if you observe, you'll realize that we don't have refugee camps in South Africa. Foreigners stay with us. They are not separated or segregated. Now, if we're anti-foreigners, that would not be the case. They would be protected in the camps. We stay with them, they open business, our people buy, until there is an incident that then make the attacks look like we are xenophobic. The point I was making, for an example, that generally there is a narrative that is always attached to us as Africans or as blacks. When other people demonstrate they are not welcoming the foreigners, they are not said they are xenophobic. As you know, there is an ongoing problem in Europe wherein the refugees that are coming, countries say they cannot come in, they don't want them. But nobody says they're xenophobic. It is just like if there is something wrong with the Africans, is corruption. If it is done by not by us, is collusion. It's exactly the same thing. That's the point I'm dealing with. Why things that are described as things that are among us, they're described differently. No one is saying Europe is xenophobic, and yet they don't want to stay with anyone. We stay here with bigger numbers in South Africa in particular, not just from Africa only, from all over the world. But once there is a kind of event or incident with certain circumstances, it looks like. What I'm saying, we should not highlight that and give a wrong impression that South Africans are xenophobic. I don't think so. But if in any kind of fight, even if there are no foreigners, I know faction fighting, for an example. If there is a fight, people loot. Whether you are a foreigner or not, is a character that goes with people with violence, the looting and everything. So I'm just trying to say, let us put it correctly. Because we are putting South Africa as a country that is xenophobic, and I'm arguing that we host more foreigners in this country than many countries. In fact, I think we are something like number 10. But we stay with the foreigners unless there's an incident. And then last time I even quoted one incident that happened in Soweto, wherein a young man was breaking in a shop of a foreigner, and the foreigner took up a pistol and shot at the young man, and that's what started the problem. Otherwise, there was no problem before that incident. That's the point I'm making.
Mr. President, if I may ask you about this Social Security Agency, and I'm only asking you because it is becoming quite urgent. Today they said that they don't really have a plan of how to pay grants on the 1st of April unless the Constitutional Court grants them permission to, extend the CPS contract, which was found, of course, to be invalid by the Constitutional Court. Are you concerned at all about the possibility of grants not being paid on the 1st of April, and what is your directive to those who report to you in as far as ensuring that this is done?
They have reported to me not once. Even yesterday, I got a brief progress report. So far, they are handling the matter. I've said no pensioner must not earn on that day. And I think whether it's court or whatever, we've got to do whatever we can to ensure that pensioners get their pay. And this is what I've been promised, and I've got reports that indicated they are working to sort out the problem. And I'm hoping they will, because it will be a little bit of, irresponsible not to deal with the issue when we knew as it was coming that it was coming. So I hope that whether it's a court or department or whoever, that day the pensioners will get what they are supposed to get. And I've been assured that it will be sorted out.
Mr. President, as you would know by now that we are at the forefront of ensuring that we communicate to South Africans tirelessly and to ensure that we're at the forefront all the time. So we'd like to know, so that we don't miss out, when can we expect the reshuffle?
Reshuffle, there's no program for reshuffle. That's something that is known by the head of state only. It's not like other program that we tell you we are planning to build a road here, etc. Reshuffle is caused by certain circumstances. The head of state, that's one thing that the head of state has to deal with. So it's not, we can't stand and say on day X, Y, Z there will be reshuffle. It's never been done. You tried. Thank you very much.
The president there following his briefing to community members in Shoshanguve on the issues there. He was briefing or speaking to some members of the media outside, speaking to them on the recent xenophobic attacks as well as the social grants issue. All right.